All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are in our championship bracket for the AVGL Call of Duty Black Ops 3 College Division, also brought to you by Control Freaks. So, this weekend, let me let you know what's going to be going down here. We have our 8 teams that have qualified from the round robin first stage that we had of our little league tournament here. These 8 teams are going to be battling out in a double elimination best of 5 bracket. Now, we wanted to let these teams, go ahead and get their games in, as soon as possible. Obviously, they're all across the country and, some maybe even in Canada. So time zones are a factor. So, we wanted to let some matches go down, and they already have. So what we are going to be jumping into is a winners bracket round 2 match between College of Staten Island and Birmingham. Sorry, what is it? Let me look again. Birmingham Southern College. Sorry, we actually haven't had these guys on stream yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do. I'm very excited. So obviously Staten Island we've seen a ton of on stream. Interesting though, it does appear they're playing with a substitute. It seems like Slazer is unavailable, or he's not in the game pretty much, and he's being replaced by Waves. So again, someone we've never seen before. We'll be interested to see how that turns out. So we're going to be hopping into this right now. Our first map is going to be Fringe Hardpoint, and we're going to be seeing what these teams can bring for us in this second round winners bracket matchup. So like I said, we have already had some games going down. Make sure you go to avglcollege.com. You can see all the teams. Also, I believe we'll have the bracket tweeted out from the twitter.com/avgameleague. So make sure you go there and check it out. But we're hopping to the Band Protect for this Fringe Hardpoint high caliber flashbang rapid fire. First ones to go. Nothing crazy there at all. You'll see a lot of focus on these attachments and grenades. That's pretty standard in terms of what we've been seeing all tournament long from pretty much every single team. And yeah, I mean, grenades and attachments are all that has gone left already in the last round of the Band Protect. Obviously, these teams know what they want. No protects yet of anything. No gun bans, protects. Oh, as I say that, the Shiva does get taken out. Staten Island electing to ban that, and the frag going as well. So probably not going to see any flakjack. It's going to be interesting to see if these teams decide to run something like Afterburner to have more boost, maybe get around the map faster, or Overclock to get those specialists faster. We'll see what they pick for specialist 2 as we hop into that specialist draft. After Camo, first to go for both teams. Kinetic Armor picked up by Strouthy. Waves picks up that Annihilator. I believe Slazer himself too liked that Annihilator, so maybe we'll see some similar things out of him. Of course, Carmine Grips was our MVP for week 2. Sorry, I believe actually week 1. You can check out all that on the AVGL YouTube channel. Just search AVGL, you'll find us. But yeah, those will be up fairly soon. All of our top plays from this opening stage and our top players as well. So make sure you're subscribed there to see that. So Active Camo, Annihilator, Purifier, and Heatwave picked up for Staten Island. Active Camo, Kinetic Armor, Scythe, and Tempest for the Birmingham, Alabama South. Sorry, like I said, never casted these guys before. So Birmingham Southern. I'm going to remember that, I promise. Birmingham Southern College. So interesting, definitely some deviation from these teams. You see the Purifier and the Annihilator as opposed to the Scythe and the Tempest. If I had to make a snap judgment, it's kind of hard to say. I think, these weapons, when paired together and on different teams, do fill some different roles. So, the Purifier, I think, is one of the best specialists for Hardpoint, which is interesting because it didn't start out that way. A lot of people at the start of the game thought the Purifier was useless, but just the fact that you can hold down that flamethrower and completely cover an entrance to the Hardpoint is really huge. However, Fringe does have some larger hardpoints. The middle hardpoint is fairly large. The track hardpoint is very long. Really, the only very tight hardpoint is the Grandma hardpoint. So maybe that won't be as useful. I don't know if I would necessarily pick that on that map. So maybe advantage there to Birmingham Southern for picking up the Scythe and Tempest, 2 weapons that can both be used in fairly long range as well as that short range. The Annihilator, of course, as we said before, takes a long time to charge, so Waves is going to really need to go off here in the early game if he wants to have an impact with it in the mid to late game. You're not going to get that many chances with it, so, you know, also interesting to see if he decides to use that to break hills or to, again, kind of in a similar vein as the Purifier, you know, watch one area with it and hopefully to pick up some kills. But Fringe Hardpoint is going to be the first map between these two teams in this winners bracket round 2 match. Staten Island versus Birmingham Southern College. Let's find out who's going to take that 1-0 lead. Alright, let's see what these teams are rocking as they start spawning in here. Wait for them to get in and we'll see what they're running gun-wise. Of course, the only thing banned was the Shiva, so I'm expecting a lot of M8s and VMPs. Maybe some Kudas thrown in, but M8, M8, VMP, 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 M8, VMP, and M8. Look at that. 2 and 2 for both. Interesting anti-up pick there for Nicholas. That's gonna... Oh, it seems like Carmine as well running anti-up. You know, I'll help them with those score streaks. Interested to see if that does end up playing a role, but we're heading into the break for the first hardpoint here. You see Clutchopotamus already going for a bit of an overextend with his teammate there. They will get in there. Nobody yet to actually take control of the hardpoint, but Birmingham with some early kills will be able to take control of that. Of course, you'll see the players on the Birmingham Southern team do have different clan tags from each other. That does denote different schools. The way this league was set up, it allowed teams to register in regions so that, you know, if you couldn't find 4 players specifically at your school, as long as you're in the same region, that was okay. So we are just going to base off the captain's school, of course, just for the ease of, you know, commentating and all that. So we are going to be calling these guys Birmingham Southern there. You see Clutchopotamus is the captain. Anyway, Birmingham coming out with a solid start here on this first hardpoint. Looks like they're going to end up with about maybe a 20-20 lead. This is going to be very close, though, as Staten Island is able to take late control of this hardpoint. Let's see who is on the rotate for the second hill. It looks like Birmingham Southern's trying to get there. It looks like they might do it. Yes, they will be able to get that first cap on this hardpoint. Sniper Eats in a nice position, able to pick up one, fails to get the kill on the second as the lightning strike comes raining down from Nicholas Levels. He is able to open up this hardpoint for his team as they try to come back this very small deficit they have here. And it looks like, if you look at the minimap there, they are going to be able to tie this up, I would say. Ooh, a nice boost there. Able to pick up one. No! Example's unable to take the second as the hill is now bouncing back and forth between these two teams. I can't even keep up in Codcaster, but Birmingham Southern will win the skirmish and start building a lead once again, now 40-28 with 20 seconds left on this hill. I want to see what Strothy's doing here, okay? He was one of the only ones not on the hill, and yeah, exactly. He's going to be rotating early. He spots the player for Staten Island that's going to be rotating, and they're going to have a battle here to see who's going to be able to get the first capture of this new hardpoint. This is the Grandma's hardpoint I was referring to, where we might see the Purifier come into play at some point. You may also see the Tempest, you know, with that chain lightning could also be useful. I mean, even this hardpoint, for being the smallest, is larger than some hardpoints on, you know, something like Breach too. So definitely interesting seeing those specialists picked up, but a couple specialists now on both sides. 3 players of Birmingham have their specialists. That's the Scythe, the active camo, and the Tempest, I believe, yes. So they are going to, you know, we'll see if they coordinate those or if they use those kind of more in a lone wolf style. But nobody yet, really, not a lot of time going down in this hill specifically. A lot of back and forth now. Staten Island is able to jump out to about to be a 20-point lead, make it 19 though. However, Birmingham Southern will start to take that back. Strothy with 2 and Shippy with 2 of his own will lock that down for Birmingham Southern. They're going to try to get the last 15 seconds of this hill as we rotate to tracks, and it looks like there is a player already there for Staten Island. That is going to be examples here. He's going to have a player to his left, turns around at the worst possible time and gets taken out. That is very unfortunate for him. He could have probably very easily picked up at least one of those, if not 2, and made it a lot easier for his team to break this hill. However, he's got Clutchopotamus there, a little bit of an itchy trigger finger, almost shoots his teammate. He's going to have a bunch of enemies here to go up against. He is able to get one, but he is low on ammo. Decides to go with the RC car. Interesting. Let's see how that works out for him. Does pick up 2 with it. A nice play from him. A little bit risky. If they had rushed him, he might have died, but no, they didn't. They sat here waiting for his car to blow up in their face, and that's exactly what happened. But it looks like Staten Island does have the favorable spawns right now. Ooh, Sniper Eats with a last-ditch effort to hold down that hard point. Stealthy will be the last one in there, and this is just kind of a battle of spawns right now. They both have okay spawns on either side, but Staten Island will finally come out on top now, 75 to 61 here as we end our first rotation. 15 seconds left on this hard point. Again, we're going to be watching for those rotations. We've seen time and time again in this tournament that whoever gets those early rotations is the team that wins, pretty much, you know, hands down, because it really shows, you know, team coordination, teamwork, and that communication that is essential to making it far. Obviously, these teams have made it in the top 8. You know, they've won a majority, if not all. We do have some teams that are undefeated. Actually, I believe the Staten Island team is undefeated in the regular season and now in the playoffs. I believe they won their round 1 match 3-0. So, ironic, you know, they nicknamed their team, We Will Go Winless. Obviously, a little attempted humor there because so far they've gone lossless, and it looks like they really want to continue that now, looking for a piece of that $5,000 scholarship prize pool we have going on for this free entry tournament here. Birmingham will be able to take control of that now, 99 to 78. This is a very close game, of course. I'm happy with this. You know, some of our regular season matches were kind of blowouts, but now that we're in, you know, the best of the best, I'm definitely expecting a lot more close games, maybe some less 3-0s. Had a lot of 3-0s in the regular season. I'd be glad. I actually yet to stream a Game 5 Search and Destroy, so that would be nice. Nice and hype. Okay, 3 specialists now coming out for Staten Island. That's going to be the Purifier, the Annihilator, and the Heatwave. Again, we're looking for the coordination on those. They are trying to push this hardpoint. We'll see if they decide to use them. It looks like they're not. They're going to hold on to them. Interesting. I think maybe now would have been a good time. You know, there's a lot of time left on this hill, and if they use those specialists, you know, in coordination, in unison with each other, they could break it and get some more good time on this hill. But Birmingham now looking to come back, 112 to 100 with 30 seconds left in this hill. Shippy will be the last one in this hill for his team. He is able to find one. His teammate will pick it up, but the assist will come through, though. Waves with the 2-piece of his own. Examples backing up as well, and let it go back and forth now. Staten Island has the hard point once again. Active camo pop there by that player from Birmingham. Almost works out for him, but they aren't able to win those gunfights. 8 seconds left here. Oh, interesting little gunfight there, jumping around. Let's see who's on rotation here for Grandmas. That's going to be Strouthy sitting in there, picking out this top window. Is able to find one player, smartly backs off, calls that out to his teammates, lets them take care of it. While a tie now, 130-131, as Birmingham starts to build another lead of their own. This is very 20 seconds until this is tied up, and looks like they have a solid setup here. You see those players are positioned around the hard point in that they pretty much have all the lanes covered. Strouthy just goes back and forth here, picking up kills as they get through to the defenses here, and that is going to be a tie now, 130-131, as Birmingham starts to build another lead of their own. This is very smart play. You can see Birmingham is just picking up these kills. You can see these players have really not left these positions this entire hardpoint. You have that one player sitting hill, you have that one player watching tracks, you have the one person at silos watching tin. This is very solid setup here. Birmingham may be looking to possibly give Staten Island their first loss of this entire tournament. Shippy, last one alive though for his team in that hardpoint, will get taken down. Staten Island tries to get a couple seconds of scrap time. Not really worth it as the hardpoint moves over the tracks. And now you see Birmingham getting a little more aggressive. Maybe, you know, they think they have this. Maybe they think they can be, you know, that last hill was definitely convincing. If I was them, I would be very happy with how it went. However, Staten Island now has a, you know, similarly strong setup here on the tracks hardpoint. Of course, there's only a couple of ways, you know, enemies could even be coming from. So this one, in some ways, is a little bit easier to hold down than the Grandma's hill. So it looks like Carmine is able to reload, pick up some kills here. Interesting, we've seen a lot of players using fast mags, and, you know, I haven't obviously seen every single match of the CWL, but I haven't really noticed personally a lot of pros using fast mags on their SMGs. Maybe that's something new that I'm just not aware of, but we certainly have seen a lot of players, especially these guys on Staten Island, rocking the fast mags, able to get that fast reload time. Interesting, you know, the trade-off of do you want to run fast mags or extended mags. You know, do you want to reload faster or reload less? Obviously, these guys are, you know, electing to reload faster, and it seems like it's working out for them now. Very close game, 167, 159. Staten Island does have control of this middle hard point, and they will pick up 2, which should let them get some solid time here. Maybe build out a lead. More kills coming down from Staten Island. That's now 5, 6 in a row for them without dropping a single death. There we go. Finally, Sniper Eats will pick up 1, but score streaks coming out. You know, let's see if they're running that overclock. Yeah, so some players are, not many though. So obviously these guys are just playing enough. They're getting the hill time, they're getting the kills that allows them to have that HC car. You know, it's not that expensive, so they are getting it fairly regularly, and we've seen them put it to good use so far in this map. 200 now to 159. Staten Island with some solid time off this middle hill, but again, it's all about those rotations. It looks like Birmingham Southern are going to be the ones to rotate to the second hill. Rob Examples is unable to pick up that kill. He was weak when he challenged it, so that's no surprise. Explosives coming in, and like I said, this has been a very back and forth game. It seems like neither of these teams have really been able to break each other's setup, so it's a matter of who gets set up first. And like I said, it seems to be going back and forth hill by hill. Birmingham with control of this hill again with a solid setup. And just like we saw with that middle hill, they're picking up 5, 6 kills at a time without dying. So this is a very interesting game. These teams are obviously strong on the defense and defending hills, but breaking hills does not appear to be their specialty here. So I think that's going to be the deciding factor, is who is able to have the stronger break of these hills. And as I say that, Staten Island is able to break it, so they will now inch closer to victory. Of course, 250 is our goal here. It is 220 to 179. They cannot end it on this hill, but if they get some good time, they might see this end on the next hill if they get the rotation. If I was them, I would just rotate. And it looks like what they're trying to do. However, they got horrible spawns on the opposite side of the map. So again, it looks like Birmingham Southern is going to be in a solid position here to make this a close. Oh, though they are able to get in there, and they are able to take control now. 20 seconds left until they win with this hill time here. That HC does take up 1, and that is 3 down against Birmingham Southern. This is getting very close. Birmingham Southern needs to make a move right now. Sniper Eats, I haven't even looked at the scoreboard, dropping the 50 bomb. Oh my, that is not something you see very often, but it's not going to mean much if his teammates don't get in there and, you know, hold down this hill. 241 to 200. They need to pretty much win out at this point, you know. Staten Island, all they need is a couple seconds of scrap time, and that's going to be it. They have this control, 2 players in. I think that's going to be it. 248. This Purifier ending it. That is going to be it. 250 to 200. Staten Island able to take the first map, and a very, very interesting first game there. See, Rob Examples dropping the 40 bomb, but outdone there by Sniper with the 51 and 35. You see, he has the least amount of time in the hill for his team, but the most defense. So you know he was one of those players that was set up, obviously not in the hard point, but around it, able to pick up a lot of kills. But those kills don't mean anything if you can't get that hill time, and they will lose by 50, putting Staten Island up 1-0. You know, it's interesting. You see 2 players on Staten Island are negative. Ironically, they're both 27 and 37, but you know, that just kind of shows that maybe Birmingham has the better slaying power, but Staten Island was able to, you know, play that objective better. Like I said, they were able to break hills better. You know, when you're a player that's focused on breaking hills, you're going to die a lot because, you know, you're going up against players who are pre-aimed, going up against players who are sitting in corners. So it kind of makes sense that, you know, some Staten Island players might not even be positive, but the fact that they were able to win that with 2 negative players and a player on the other team going with the 50 bomb is a testament to their communication. I mean, they haven't lost a match, I think, for a reason, and that shows it. Even with a substitute, they are able to show a very dominating performance. So we are going to be moving on to our second map, Search and Destroy, right after this. We'll see if Birmingham Southern can bring it back, or if Staten Island will jump out to a quick 2-0 lead.